Time to go, boys and girls. Let's go. No time like the present. Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. This is Monday, December 16th. Any questions, comments? Up here to the podium and tell us what's on your mind. There'll be a time for public comment at number 11. We just ask you to keep it to 3 minutes or less. During the meeting, if we vote on anything, I'll try to give a time for you can come up and give any comments on that too. All right, so call the roll, please.
Mayor Cedar,
Here.
Councilmember Gottler,
Here.
Councilmember Kupa,
Here.
Councilmember Laporte, Councilmember Paul,
Here.
Councilmember Volk,
Here.
Councilmember Watt,
Here.
all present.
Thank you. Go to consent agenda A, City Council minutes of December 2nd, 2024, regular meeting recommendation approved. B is the Historical Commission 2024 annual report recommendation receive.
Motion to approve A and B as presented.
Supported.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have a presentation under number 5, St.Clair Rotary Centennial Park Fund. Lisa, is that you?
No, I thought there was. Thank you. I, on behalf of the City of St. Clair, I want to acknowledge a donation we received from the Rotary Club they have a Rotary Park Centennial Fund, which is a maintenance fund that can be used for improvements at the park. And we have some electrical upgrades that we have to do. And we received a donation in the amount of $3,500 to get that done. So we really appreciate that and wanted to acknowledge them at a city council meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to number 6, A, ordinance introduction 2025-01 golf carts. Mr. Downey.
Your Honor, for council is a redraft of an ordinance that was originally introduced this summer. In fact, the last action taken by council was on August 19th. The ordinance was up for adoption and it was tabled. The reason for the tabling was that there were some inconsistencies with the template we had used from the city of Marysville and the state law that governs golf carts. So essentially, we did a reworking of the entire ordinance, resolving all the conflicts between the city of Marysville ordinance and the state law in favor of the state law, because under the supremacy clause, the state law would prevail. So what we have is a revised version of the ordinance that was introduced this summer. And procedurally, I would ask council if it wants to move forward to the first hurdle would be procedurally is to bring the August 19th proposed ordinance off the table. And then it could either be adopted, or it could be rejected, or it could be amended as I've proposed this evening. And tonight would serve as a reintroduction of the ordinance, and it would be up for adoption at our next meeting in January.
I'll make that motion to bring the August 19th motion off the table.
Supported.
All right, the motion is made and supported to bring the August 19th motion off the table. Questions?
So now this is considered an amendment of that previous motion? Or of that previous ordinance introduction?
The vote that's taking place now simply is bringing it back off the table.
Very
And there'll be a subsequent motion in order to act as council wishes.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
So am I understanding correctly, if we vote yes to bring this back off the table, will there be another vote to vote on it?
Yes.
Okay.
To reintroduce it, correct?
There'll be a reintroduction as an amendment to the original ordinance, or if the council wants to adopt the ordinance that was previously introduced, that's fair game, or it can vote to reject the ordinance, whatever council's wish.
Okay, so help me out here, because I guess I'm still confused. We're going to vote to bring back the tabled motion. We're going to vote on that. If we vote yes to bring it back,
There'll be a subsequent motion in order to decide what to do.
Can we vote on the one that you redrafted at
Yes.
that time?
Yes,
Okay, so we,
That would be a
all
reintroduction.
the reintroduction.
right, so we need to bring this back so we can be done with it.
Correct.
Or something.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else with a question? Call a roll, please.
Who seconded the motion?
I did.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so this is the motion to bring the motion from August 19th off the table.
Correct.
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Volk?
Yes.
Watt?
Yes.
Gottler?
Yes.
Kufa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to reintroduce the ordinance 2025-1.
Support.
Motion's made and supported. Questions?
So is this considered an introduction or?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, this is the introduction of the revised motion, of the revised ordinance, excuse me.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the introduction of the one you rewrote.
Yes.
And we'll be voting on it at the first meeting of January.
It'll be up for adoption at the first meeting of January if introduced tonight.
Correct.
Very good.
Attorney Downey, a clerical question. Will I number that, the original number of the ordinance?
It would be renumbered as to, I think, with its adoption, it'd be the first ordinance of the new
Okay.
year.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
There was not a second to that motion yet.
It was.
Yes.
Councilmember Laporte.
Laporte, thank you.
Any other questions?
Under discussion, Jay says golf cart shall not be operated on a sidewalk. I was just double checking, and if I missed it, I apologize, but does it clarify that the bike path is a sidewalk or road, or is that outlined in this anywhere that they are allowed or not allowed? on the
I
bike
don't
path?
believe they are allowed on the bike path. I don't believe, but I could clarify that before our next meeting.
Because then will we need to amend this? for
Can we
that?
just add, can I be operated on sidewalk or bike path?
If that's your pleasure, sure.
I mean, that would clear it up, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
How would we,
That would just be an amendment to the motion then? Okay. I guess the motion for introduction is being amended to add under, is it subparagraph
Jay?
J?
Yep.
Okay, so Jay's adding bike pass. Any questions? Anything else? Mr. Kleeman?
This is the introduction of the revised ordinance? Is that what you're doing right now?
Say it again, I'm
Are you
sorry.
voting on the revised?
Voting to introduce the revised ordinance.
You're introducing it right now.
Yes.
So what changes in the new one versus the old one?
There are more than a couple. For example, the ordinance as written originally permitted non-licensed, people without an operator's license for motor vehicles to operate a golf cart, which is prohibited under state law. So we adopted the state law posture. I'm sorry, Mr. Kleeman.
Speed was
I think
also
speed was
addressed.
another one as well. Essentially, anything that was in tension with the state law was resolved in favor of the state law. It's speed, minimum speed, maximum speed, roads on which the golf carts can be operated. It's all now consistent with what the state law mandates.
Anybody else? All right, so the motion is made and supported. I'm sorry. Frank?
As a point of order, aren't you supposed to do something with the first motion first and then introduce the new one?
We did.
Yeah, just did. Yes, sir.
We brought it from the table.
You brought it back from the table, but you haven't done anything with the actual motion yet.
With the actual ordinance yet. You're saying we should either accept or.
You should, yeah,
or-
right. Or accept that you're going to
Or, yes.
rewrite it, one of the two, or reintroduce it as a different number. Because that one should be either canceled or accept it, and then the new one is reintroduced, is the way it should work. Robert's rules.
It's been reintroduced as amended.
Okay.
So I believe we're
good?
We're in order.
All right. Anybody else? All right, let's call a roll on this ordinance introduction.
Volk?
Yes.
Watt?
Yes.
Gottler?
Yes.
Kufa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, let's go to reports of administration. Mr. Bishop.
I have a couple of things I'd like to talk about tonight, just to give just a hats off that goes to the police department, especially the public service volunteers. They made, throughout the year, they've just done an outstanding job about not only doing their Citizens Academy, but coming together at our largest events and not only being willing to do it, but the way that they serve, they do it with such excellence. It's just high customer service. They're more than willing to help, and just the numbers that come out and participate. It's not like 2 or 3 people. I mean, they're bringing teams. They're bringing a dozen people, and they're all actively engaged. This last week, they had a celebration at the inn, and it was just nice to gather and fellowship with people and talk to them about just how the years went and what they look forward to. They have big plans, and it's one of those programs that I see could actually turn into type of a legacy program. It could be around for a very, very long time because of the professionalism in which it's been created. So hats off to the public service volunteers, or excuse me, public safety volunteers. I want to talk a little bit about a grant that we've been awarded. This is for the Transportation Economic Development Finance Grant. This basically allows for Clinton Avenue, sections of it to be repaved. Here's the issue, though. I got Clinton Ave. We're just getting done with Clinton Avenue. Okay, and so to tear up that world again for a road, it's not scheduled until 2026. However, we have a portion of that grant that allows for a certain amount of Clinton, but we are also awarded another MDOT grant that allows for another section. So we're meeting actually Wednesday. We're going to meet with the county, and we're going to go over about how we can maximize both granting sources so we don't piecemeal this thing where we start a project because the grant says you only can do so much with this time. We're saying, listen, if it's already been awarded and the grant's out there for the entire stretch, how do we bring it all together? And so how do we simultaneously plan for, okay, this grant starts, this one stops, this one starts, that one starts, but it's mobilized all at the same time, so it's one project. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So a couple buckets of money, we're trying to get them all to work together in sync, and then the timing mobilization of it. So earliest, it would be 2026. The latest, it'll be 2027 before Clinton, the majority of it, right where they stop the concrete, right around 4th Street all the way to Kearney, getting it done.
That'd be nice.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about waste management in this CART program. So we're not taking it lightly. This is something that was rolled out, no pun intended. It was rolled out, and here's the biggest issue. When our people call waste management and say, we would like a smaller CART, there is a breakdown on the waste management side of the house, knowing that the city of St. Clair is eligible for a reduced size CART. So what they're telling the resident is, sorry, you don't qualify, that doesn't happen. And that is wrong. That is not true. You do qualify for a reduced size CART if you request it. We are clearing that up right now, and we talked with our representative from Waste Management saying, listen, the message that's coming from the city is the exact same message that we talked about when we got into this deal. Your people, wherever they are, it doesn't matter where they are, but whoever's answering the phone for us, they need to be on the same page. They need to be saying what you're saying to us right now. So when we say it to the resident, it's the same message. And right now, the residents aren't getting the same message, and it's causing a lot of frustration. Our phones have been ringing off the hook.
And that's in the contract, that we have both options.
We do. We do. We do have both options. And the biggest issue is that there's just miscommunication on the waste management side speaking to our residents. So we're getting that squared away, and we're going to nip that in the bud. Anybody that's calling right now and asking me how to or they can't get a reduced size CART, the answer is yes, you can. And the answer is yes, you will. And so every message I get now, I send it directly back to WM and say, here we have another resident, you need to train your people up. Here's another resident, we need to train your people up. We had a staff-wide meeting today, or front office meeting today, with WM on the phone in a conference calling scenario, and we just peppered them with questions. 10 solid minutes, just peppered them with questions. And everything that they said needs to match up with their actions. Just right now, it's not happening. So we're holding them accountable. We're making sure that our residents do get the carts that they need. They are instructed on what to do with a cart or with a old trash bin or one of those like tote type recycling bins, that they have. Listen, I don't know about you. I use every one of those old ones for my kids. I put my bats and balls in them, right? I put them in the back of the truck. They're great low carry-ons. But if that's not your thing, and you want it out of there and want it out of the house, January 17th, I believe you can turn the trash can or the old recycling bin upside down on the curb. That's the indication to the company that they will take that can away and dispose of it for you. Okay? That's how it needs to go. If you get on the phone and you're trying to get on the phone and say, hey, I need a reduced size can, they tell you no, continue to say, yes, you can. That is my message right now until they can get their end of the house squared away. But as of right now, today, Waste Management is to reduce the size from 96 gallon to 64 gallon at the request of the citizen. And that has been confirmed through Waste Management. Okay? There is going to be a little bit of a change in behavior because now we're recycling every other week. This is a citywide program. It's going to take some getting used to. An updated map has been provided to us, and we're going to be getting that information back out with phone numbers for the residents to call, with extensions to call. We've also requested a step-by-step instruction, top to bottom. If this happens, then what do I do? If I request a cart, reduced size cart, what do I do? Step one, the phone number I call, the extension I use. If I want a recycling bin, what do I do? If I want an extra cart, what do I do? Those things are en route to us, and as soon as we have them from Waste Management, we'll review them for accuracy, and then we'll publish it out to the citizens. Okay?
This has been addressed, and again, apologize. Is it standardized every other week, so it's an revolving change every month, or is it literally the first and third of every single month that it's recycling?
Depending on where you live, there's a map, and so you will either get the first or the third or the second and the fourth.
Okay.
So it's twice a month.
With recycling.
Okay, but not every other Thursday necessarily.
Based on what I'm looking at here, it's the
Yeah.
first and third Thursday.
Perfect.
Okay, so twice a month.
Twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
didn't want it revolving like a 28-day
And
cycle.
then
No.
garbage continues every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Yeah, your green top can every Thursday.
That's right. That's right. We have some citizens that live inside the community right now. They don't live in single-family homes. They live in condos. They live in duplexes, triplexes. So we're working directly with their property managers, and we're making sure that those residents also receive service. Sometimes just the layout of the actual unit themselves doesn't accommodate for these carts to be pulled out because the parking space is in front of the sidewalk, and you can't get a cart there. So we're working directly with them to come up with a game plan so that they can get a cart or some type of some type of receptacle on site that's manageable for not only the residents but also for Waste Management.
I did get some calls too for some apartment complexes that literally got 2 cans, and they didn't drop off or.
Exactly. So we talked about that today. So it's about the account. So you might have a resident. Let's just say you got a quad, right? And it comes up as an address, but they don't differentiate between suite 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's just the one. So we're actually sending them now 4 carts to that address, right? And in some cases, we actually had a phone call to reverse. Was, hey, we have a communal setup here where we have 32 units. We don't need 32. We actually only need 10 because it's communal, right? So get the other 22 out of here. So we're working on both sides of the coin.
Chris, let me correct that. It's the first and third Thursday of every month, except for June is the second and fourth. December's the second, and December's the second.
Probably because
Thursday and
November
the-
has 5
and the
Thursdays
fourth,
next year or something.
And
Well,
the
that's why I
fourth
was
Friday.
like, this is-
November's the second and fourth, and October's the first, the third, and the fifth.
It's every other week.
It's literally, it's a 28-day cycle. Yeah, it's not, it's not going to be fun.
You should take a good look at this, you guys.
Every other week.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
We have a couple comments, Quentin. Questions?
Is it possible to have an ordinance variation or changed so that these carts don't sit out in front of houses? And, you know, the whatever you call it, you can't have trash on the street side of 180 degrees from the extension of your homes? Because people are dragging these just up the driveway and they're sitting in the driveway right up front. I mean, I don't think they're the prettiest things, but
We're working on that right now. There's going to take some time for residents, one, to get used to using them, but two, they're in transition between, I bring my trash cans into my garage. That's where my trash can is right here, right now, and I haven't thrown that out yet. So I have this other 2 things that have been delivered. They're not even going into use until I believe around January 9th or 17th. So there is a transition about using the old, bringing in the new, and then disposing of the old, but the ordinance remains the same. So it's a setback, or excuse me, I talked about code enforcement today. The trash can, just like anything else, old and new, just needs to be behind the front property line on the side of the house. That's okay. We just don't, the ordinance does not allow for trash cans, rubbish, pilings of anything to be like in front of the house, in front of a garage and just set there. It just needs to follow the same rules as usual, but we're just going through a transition period where we have 4 cans potentially at one residence right now.
Okay.
Okay, Fabian? Okay.
But can't you use the new now, but you can't use the old later, right?
Correct. Correct. They will be discontinued for service because the old cans will not operate properly with the automated arms of the new trucks.
Frank Weiss, 1104 Clinton Avenue. The recycle, is it every Thursday right now until January still?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I bring out the recycle this week, it'll get picked up? Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's on the calendar and I didn't look at it, but thanks.
Bill?
Okay.
Wait, 1374 South Riverside. When is it going to start?
January 17th, I believe.
January 17th?
Yes, sir.
Is the day that we have to use new cans.
I believe that's the day.
That's a Friday, it must be the 16th.
Okay,
January.
and now,
Ninth?
like everybody, what is, what
January
day?
9th.
9th, Thursday the
Ninth?
9th.
All right, like everybody else, I got one of these in my cans. That nice little picture of the garbage can with the cart sitting out by the road with the garbage bag alongside with the red circle with a slash through it. So if it does not fit in the can, they're not gonna pick it up, correct?
Please vote that.
Well, I understand that's what it means, but I've been told that they will pick it up. If there's a bag alongside my can, will they pick it up?
Trash cart with green lids. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Bag and tie trash inside your trash can will be picked up. No materials outside the cart will be collected on
Okay.
those days.
So if it don't fit in the can, I have to wait the next week to put it out.
Unless it's yard waste collection?
No, not yard weight, garbage. Green lid cans. What
You're
I'm
gonna-
getting at is used to be, you put it out there, the city picked it up. Regardless of what you put out.
Okay.
They picked it up. So what I read here is, I'm getting a reduction in service. I'm only got 1 can, and that's all I can use. My recycling is down to once every 2 weeks. So with the reduction of service, will I get a reduction in cost?
So it's a little bit of a fallacy, Bill, and this is why. We're assuming the can that you've been using is a 96-gallon can. And we're assuming that 96 gallons of trash can't fit in these bins that we have. Because I think you're equating what I had before and what I'm getting is different. A standard trash can is 33 gallons. The average person per Waste Management, 2 of those per household.
Well, what I'm
33
saying,
and 33, 66.
Yeah.
So we're not to 96 yet.
well, what I'm saying, I drive around town a lot. Not me, but a lot of people put carpet, furniture, tables.
Those are considered bulk items. Bulk items, waste collection.
Once a month on the bulk items. First Friday of the month. is
Or
what
you
I
may
do.
call and have them picked up. Yes.
For $35. Second one, $35.
So we've had some conversation about this a little bit, and this may be some of the misunderstandings that's coming across, because Christmas is coming. Nobody is fitting all of their materials into 1 or 2 cans and whatever it is, because we can ask for more cans, right? So we can have that. But no one's going to have 6 of them.
I ain't got room to put the 2 I got now.
I understand. My point is, no one's going to have 6 cans for Christmas, and if we do order those, what do you do with those 4 that you don't need for the rest of the time of the year? So the communication to date that we've all been discussing was, we were told that you put it out there, it will get picked up. So if their literature is now saying it won't, we need to ask that question, confirm that.
So the service doesn't start till January 9th.
Okay.
We're clear for Christmas.
And my last question is, the states in here that I have to have it out there by 6 a.m. in the morning. What time are they gonna start picking up?
They are at my house now at about 7 in the morning.
Well, I know, that's what time they come by me, but I mean, if I don't get it out there by 6, I take mine out at 7. What time do they start pick up?
The ordinance says 7?
I want to know what time they're going to pick my trash up.
I'm probably about the 8th or 9th in the city that gets picked up, and they're there by 6:45 every Thursday at my house. They come right from the city limits, and I'm, like I said,
You're out to 6:45.
7th, 8th, 9th in the city to get it picked up, and it's by 6:45.
All right. So January 9th is when we can start using new cans.
Yes.
All right. You got anything else?
I'm good.
Sure.
My name's John Gross. I live on Oakland Street, just south of town, and my driveway is an incline all the way to the street. So I'm looking for a solution or answer to how to set my trash cans without them going into the road. I don't want to put them on the shoulder. And even if I came up with a logical way to place them, I'm not sure how they're going to put it back to that same spot without it ending up in the road and becoming a safety concern.
What was the address, sir?
Pardon me?
What was the address?
1390 Oakland.
Is there room on the curb next to your driveway?
Just the shoulder of the road itself, but I don't think you can legally put something and place it in the shoulder of that highway, right? It's a state highway.
I think they want it out on the road, right next to the curb.
Okay.
And I say that because my daughter has the same problem where she lives, and but they
Okay.
do the same program there, and that's what she does.
Okay, because the only reason I'm just looking for, because I'm concerned about the safety of it. I don't want to be responsible for a can that gets misplaced
Right.
and someone hits it.
Yeah.
You know, that can is substantially larger than what we had, and that shoulder is only so wide. I mean, if someone, I walk down that road, it's dangerous as hell. And to put a trash can there and expect that everyone's going to stay within those lines, I think you're crazy.
Thank you.
So I'm just looking for, some, there's multiple driveways there that are going to have the same problem. So if you guys have a solution, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll drive it tomorrow. We'll
Okay,
take a look.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, anything else, Mr. Bishop? Mr. Downey, you got anything?
Nothing this evening, Your
All
Honor.
right, any questions for Mr. Downey? All right, city departments, and I know you have something.
I do. My report's a little long. I know Therese wanted to say something, so I'll let her go first.
Thank you. On behalf of the St. Clair Recreation Commission, we would like to recommend use of the 2025 local millage funds for resurfacing of the Gregg Park basketball court and inline hockey surfaces. And we received an estimate for these repairs, and we would like to approve that estimate so that we can get on the list and have the work done, hopefully in the spring, before the park gets its high demand use. And we received an estimate from Goddard Sports Surfacing. They're over by Lake Orion. It's the only vendor that I know that does this type of work, and they did the original surfacing, and they've done all the resurfacing at the park. The last time that we had major work done there was in 2015. So if we time it right, we will get the millage funds and the expenditure within this fiscal year.
The millage fund that came this year, or the one that's coming 20?
That's coming in 2025,
Oh, okay, because the one we already dedicated that to.
Kletcher Park,
Park,
yes.
right. Are you looking for us to give you that action tonight? Are you going to apply for that, or what are you going to do?
Well, I would like to sign the estimate, and so that we can be on the list to have the work done in the spring. So that it would be an expenditure, and the funding would come from the millage funds that we receive.
So you're just looking for maybe a motion to give you direction to get the estimate?
It is we're saying it's a single or a sole source vendor, because I don't, they've done previous work at the park, and I do not know another vendor to get an estimate from.
So you've received the estimate?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
If you would, take a look in the back of your packet under information. Ms. Hawkins did a nice job of putting together a request for the millage funds to be used for Gregg Park. The Recreation Commission would like to recommend the use of 2025 local distribution of St. Clair County millage funds for resurfacing Gregg Park basketball and inline hockey surfaces. What Ms. Hawkins is saying that Goddard Sports is considered a single source use because they are the ones who do this type of work, and she's unaware of anybody else in the area who would do this type of work. They've completed work for the city before. The quote is for $28,400, and she'd like to move forward using the millage funds to complete that work.
Yes.
So did this come in after the agenda was set? Is that what happened, or?
No, it was in your packet as information only for discussion, and then if there was any action needed to be taken at that time. But when Quint and I discussed it, we didn't know if there was action needed because it was 2025 funds that we actually haven't received yet. So we just weren't sure of the timeline.
Right. What are your wishes, gentlemen?
I mean, I think the surfaces need to be redone. I've seen them.
Yeah.
The inline skating one particularly is in rough shape.
That's this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the basketball, and that's the inline.
We're just trying to get ahead of the game, because if we can put it in now, we hope we're on the list for the spring. We may already be late spring, because in the past, if they don't get all their work done in the current year because of weather, or, you know, they move it to the next year, and so it's just a timing thing. So I tried to explain in my memo that we would have the funds, and we're trying to get the funds and the expenditure in the current fiscal year, which started October 1st.
Is there payment terms on this that I'm not seeing? Like, are they requiring payment upon completion, or?
That's normally what it has been in the past. It's just they need a signed estimate or signed contract to do the work and put us on the schedule.
For that amount, Aaron,
Yeah.
for that amount, it's done upon completion. Yeah, usually when you start seeing stuff like push 100,
Yeah.
you might get 50 in and then 50 at the end.
I'm not aware that they require a deposit or anything like
Right.
that, and we've done work with them before.
Yeah, so this is money we will have when it's time to pay. It's money that fits the parameters of what they want you to do with the, the
Yeah.
grant.
And depending on the schedule, usually we get that millage notice in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it's approved, we get, the funds are dispersed.
Yeah.
But it's a predetermined amount.
Right. They'll get tax collection in February, right? And so everybody's gonna be taxed, and they'll get their millage, and the county parks will get their monies, and then they'll set aside, and then they'll break it apart for all the millages that are being spent out to all jurisdictions, and that's when we'll get ours. So it's early spring, I would think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're confident that we do have the money?
Oh, we absolutely have the money.
Yes.
We've already signed for it. This is just the mechanics of what are we doing with the money, and I support Ms. Hawkins' recommendation that we get the courts taken care of.
I'll make a motion.
I'll support it.
All right, any questions?
Isn't this just like anything else that deals with millages or taxes? Doesn't it have to go out for bid instead of just one vendor that you pick yourself?
It's not a
No.
requirement.
No.
No.
Unless
Just curious, that's what I wanted to know.
not to receive the funds.
Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Stotler?
Yes.
Kufa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Bolt?
Yes.
Swat?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Great, Annette, you're next.
Yes, a few things, thank you. As mentioned during the last city council meeting, the new city website was launched on December 2nd. Hopefully everyone has had a chance to look at it, cityofstclairmi.gov. And I just wanted to expand a little bit on that process and what you can find on there. When interviewing our vendors, there were 3 main components of the new site that had to be met: user-friendly, secure, and ADA compliant. The intent was to allow users to find what they needed in 3 clicks or less and within 5 seconds. The homepage now has the information that's requested the most, like online payments and council agendas, for example. There's also the capability for users to send an email through the Contact Us feature on a specific topic, and the email will go directly to the applicable department, so that'll make things more efficient that way. There's a search bar on the forms page to help users find the document quicker. There's 2 more services that aren't live yet, fillable forms and a new post notification. Users can opt in to new post notification and get an alert whenever there's a new announcement posted on the website. So that'll be a great way to get information out there in a timely manner. The site is more secure because we changed from a .com to a .gov, which is specifically reserved for official United States government organizations, essentially signifying that the site is a trusted, verified government source on the internet, and it allows the public to easily identify genuine government websites and emails. We also have SSL encryption and a CAPTCHA anti-spam feature. Regarding ADA, by law, all websites are required to be ADA compliant by April of 2027, so we're ahead of the game there. There's a redesign of the Pine Shores Golf Course website that was part of the initial contract approval. That's underway as well, and that will be launched well ahead of spring. So I just want to touch on those couple points. Again, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, check it out. I think it's pretty user-friendly. We're very proud of it, and we've been trained in-house. One of the other reasons we chose this vendor is because they use the same platform that I'm already familiar with, so it was minimal training needed, so that was great. So we can go in there and make changes as we need pretty timely. So that was one thing I wanted to mention today. Chapel improvements, the fiscal year 25 capital improvement plan included chapel renovations. So far, the recessed lights and the inside wall sconces have been replaced, and it's already made such a big improvement over there, and we'll keep you updated on that periodically as changes are made. Business license renewals are being processed. There are just about 200 current local businesses to account for. I always like to say that number because it's surprising in a community this size, but we have about 200 businesses. Current permits expire December 31st. And then last but not least, I wanted to talk about Wreaths Across America that we participated in on Saturday. Councilmember Gottler and I, the Cemetery Board of Trustees, coordinated Wreaths Across America this past Saturday, December 14th. It was a beautiful but crisp Michigan day. The public response was amazing, and the event exceeded our expectations. Last year, in December of 2023, the Cemetery Board participated in just the symbolic placement of the wreaths to honor the military branches. After that, without hesitation, the board decided to continue partnership with Wreaths Across America and take it to the next step. So our preparation began immediately for 2024. And being the first year that we would have the veteran wreath laying throughout the cemetery, we set a goal of 200 wreaths. And we actually had 284 wreaths sponsored, so we were very pleased about that. Seeing and hearing the excitement and the eagerness from the community, we know it's only going to grow from here. CTV provided recording services, and there was also a photographer on site who shared photos on Facebook. It was a spectacular day, and there's several people that we want to thank. So first of all, we want to thank everyone who sponsored those 284 wreaths. Thank you again to Councilmember Gottler and fellow Cemetery Board of Trustees members Betty Fryer, Nancy Germain, Bill Kleeman, Jennifer McDonald, Larry Silver, and Tim Disselrath. An extra shout out to Betty Fryer, because not only is she a volunteer on the Cemetery Board of Trustees, but she also is a member of Women's Life Chapter 814. So she coordinated those two groups and also was our main website liaison. So without her, it wouldn't have been possible. Thank you to Lisa Fountain for bringing this endeavor to our attention and being our inspiration. Thank you to John McLaren, Catherine Huffmaster, Harold Heislip, Nancy Germain, Kathy and Gary Thorpe, and Bill Kleeman for laying wreaths to honor veterans of our armed forces. And an extra thank you to John McLaren, who laid the wreath for both Army and Marines because he actually has served in both military branches. Amazing. Thank you to Cub Scout Pack 261 and St. Clair High School National Honor Society for sharing your time and volunteering. Thank you to Women's Life Chapter 814 for partnering with us on sponsorships. They matched a $500 donation, and they shared their time on Saturday by offering complimentary hot chocolate. Thank you to Scott Brickner for the beautiful rendition of Taps. Thank you to Paul Dingeman and Kenny Young with CTV Community Television for providing recording services. Thank you to the Department of Public Works for helping with the delivery and storage of the wreaths. And thank you to the City of St. Clair Mayor Cedar and council members for ongoing support. We already look forward to next year. Thank you very much.
Good job, you guys. I got a lot of good feedback on that. Aaron, on that, good job. Any other city departments? Let's go to D, authorities, boards, commissions, committee chairs, anybody? We have no unfinished business, new business. Number 9, approved Manicastarian letter of engagement for annual financial audit, Mr. Bishop.
Manicastarian is our audit firm, and they have supplied in your packet a proposal to complete this year's audited services. In addition, they will assist with preparing the F-65, Act 51, and Form 5527 report. That is on page 4 for the things that they will complete under other services. On page 7, based on preliminary estimates, the fee should be approximately in 2024. Financial audit of $25,500 with a single audit. Single audits are triggered when there's more than $750,000 spent of federal funds. And so we have eclipsed that, so a single audit is necessary. They've also made proposals to engage in 25, 26, and 27 with nominal increments year over year if we were to agree to that. That is what it is. But the proposal right now is for 2024 services. So right now it's $30,500 with the other services, as I mentioned before on page 4, to include the F-65, Act 51, and Form 5572. I'm satisfied with the performance of Manicastarian. Last year, we had a good experience. We did have a couple issues, whereas we were trying to dig through files and to find files, and that's time consuming. But fortunately, over the summertime, we had a phenomenal intern, and he took every single AP record we had, and he digitized it. So thank you to Jimmy Downey for that. And so now that process should be much smoother and more efficient because we have digital records that they can actually check in from afar. So all in all, what we're looking at is a base price of $30,500 plus plus those 3 other reports that I had mentioned. And they're, when it's all said and done, probably a couple $1,000s depending on the length and the work that they have to do for those other 3 reports. But they're minimal. They shouldn't be more than 5. My recommendation is that we do move forward with Manicastarian's proposal, and we engage them to provide auditing services for the city of St. Clair.
So moved.
Supported. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Gottler,
Yes.
Kufa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Bolt,
Yes.
Watt,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. B, uniform video services local franchise agreement renewal.
The city of St. Clair currently has 2 franchise agreements, one with DirecTV and one with Comcast. DirecTV's agreement is coming to expiration. It started in 2015. They're looking to re-engage the city for the initial agreement, establishes a video service provider fee of 5% and a PEG fee, which is public and education and governmental fees, at 40 cents per subscriber per month. In short, this is a boilerplate contract renewal for both franchise fees. It's basically the fee that we receive for their use of our right-of-way to bring in services to our city. And for those who use those services, we receive 40 cents per month per subscriber. Those things help with cable television, provides those types of services and offsets some of those costs. I will make one other note that when you look at, I just want to flip there real quick, just if you want to know something. When you look at the fees on page 5, and it talks about at the expiration of existing franchise agreement, or where there's a no existing franchise agreement, an amount equal to the percentage of gross revenue established by the franchise entity of 5%. I thought 5% might be negotiable, so I contacted the service rep, specifically talking about the contract and that percentage. That is the maximum that we can get. So we are at the top end of that at 5%, so there's no renegotiating any higher. Same thing with the 40 cents per subscriber. So putting in perspective, between the two, DirecTV and Comcast, between all service fees, we're projected to bring in on this franchise fees about $109,000. So it's a significant type contract, and I would renew this as recommended by DirecTV.
I'll make a motion.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Hoopa.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Volk.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Statler.
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. C, approve special event permit, application St. Clair Chamber of Commerce, Icy Bazaar.
Chief Raker this evening, he is actually doing he's always serious police business, but he's engaged in police business as we speak. He sent me a text before the meeting, said that he's actually on call and on the scene. So I'll get a report later from him. I'm going to read verbatim if that's okay from you. This is a special event permit for the 2024 St. Clair Chamber of Commerce Icy Bazaar. I'm requesting approval for special event permit for the Icy Bazaar scheduled for Friday through Sunday, January 24th through the 26th, 2024. This event will take place at the Riverview Plaza in the corridors and courtyard with ice carvings, live music, and other events scheduled. There will be live music at various venues throughout the event. Fireworks are scheduled for Palmer Park on Saturday beginning at 7:45 p.m. and are requesting that the park be cleared and barricades be placed to keep people out of the park for the duration of the fireworks show. They have received all necessary documents that are in compliance with the city ordinance.
So moved.
I will add, this motion will include approval of the lease of Palmer Park that's required. So St. Clair Chamber of Commerce will be leasing a portion of Palmer Park for the fireworks display. And approval will also include the local government unit approval for a public fireworks display.
So moved. Support.
All right, the motion made
Back to
supported.
Dollar.
Questions? Call the roll, please.
Support.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Volk.
Yes.
Watt.
Yes.
Statler.
Yes.
Kufa.
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
D, authorities, boards, and commission appointments. I have some appointments now, I have more in the first and second meetings in January. But tonight, what I have with hopefully your endorsement is appointments to 25 authorities, boards and commissions. Board of Cemetery Trustee, reappoint Bill Kleeman to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. Board of Review, reappoint Judy Shawn, Elizabeth Schweifer, and Tom Jaloski, each to a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2025. Building Commission, reappoint Bill Kleeman to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. Dangerous Buildings, reappoint Phil Port to a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2025. And Judy Shawn, each to a 2-year term expiring December 31st, 2026. Electrical Board, reappoint DeLoss Boyer to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. And Keith Kleeman with residency waiver to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. Appoint Pat O'Grady with a residency waiver to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. Harbor Commission, reappoint Nancy Bodo and Keith Wynn, each to 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2027. Historical Commission, reappoint Mary Boda, Georgina Burns, Joanne Kinsfather, and Beverly Stewart, each to 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. Reappoint Robert Freehand, with residency waivers to a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2027. Planning Commission, reappoint Nancy Boda and Paul Wade, each to 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2027. And Zoning Board of Appeals, reappoint Doug Glassford, Burton Brooks, and Douglas Bernier, each to 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2027. And I believe on the Harbor Commission, I think Keith Wynn also needs a residency waiver on that one too, so we'll include that.
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
And also, Joanne Kinsfather on the Historical Commission, she would need a residency waiver also. Those are what I have tonight. I'll have some more in January. Your last thing.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointments and residency waivers.
Support.
Some questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, all our appointees. There'll be more to come. Claims and accounts, December 5, December 12, 2024.
Hearing no question, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Order number 11, any non-agenda items, please, 3 minutes if you would. Anybody? Cleveland?
Bill Claim at 1370 Coast South Riverside. I just wonder if you heard anything on St. Clair Highway.
St. Clair Highway, what Mr. Kleeman's referring to is there was road work done. This was a few years ago, and it looks like some of the road that was patched up, it was giving way. It was along the Pine River side of the road. And so there was some backfilling. There was some more asphalt laid on top once they thought the road was secure. It was noticed that it looked like the road was actually moving again. And so we have called AEW. The civil engineers will be on site. They're doing measurements right now, and we're going to come up with a plan to stabilize the road. There's a couple options out there, and all of them include not having the road fall in on itself.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Has the railroad been repaired through that section?
That had been done. Yes. Yeah.
Bill, you're up.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Phil
Christmas.
Lundman, 902 Clinton. Hopefully I can clear up those pictures for you, Mr. Bishop, the two that I left up there. I got to talk about the bike path a little bit. When we made our last walkthrough with the engineers, the city, the contractors, it was to identify what was to be done on the project's rework. This is prior to what just got done. I was with Mr. Kern from AEW and pointed out the curbing on 9th Street was not, on both sides to be exact, was not wide enough to accommodate the heavy traffic off of Clinton Avenue. People had to really work hard at getting around the corner. I told him traffic has been running over the curb. The picture that you see there with the tire tracks in the dirt, that's the evidence. The dates are on the back of the picture. I believe I even showed him the picture. I think I had it with me. But anyway, it shows a picture of tandem tire tracks in the dirt on the northwest side of that intersection. That's on my side of the street. He indicated that they would look into cutting back the curb. Well, nothing was done with that when he did the rework. I kind of questioned it, but I thought, well, what do I know? You know? Fast forward to 13 December 2024, a large semi heading west on Clinton Avenue with a trailer, and a large crane tried to turn onto the northbound lane of 9th Street. The semi driver was going the wrong way on the southbound lane of the intersection. He was on Clinton Avenue, and he was backing up, and he was in the wrong lane. City truck was facing right against him, so they can back it up too. But he ended up driving up over the newly installed curbing and breaking it up. That's the other picture. The trailer was a low boy. I don't think there was 6 inches of clearance, and you could just hear that concrete crunching under there. To add insult to injury, when he got done up the street, he came back and did exactly the same thing, leaving. Suggestion for you. If the city is going to continue to allow semi-traffic on 9th Street, and you probably will have to do that because somehow or other they need to get to the water plant. I believe that's where he was headed. You might want to look into widening that intersection, widening it out, or whatever you need to do. Do your homework. At that intersection, so before the next paving of Clinton Avenue, somehow it seems like projects slip by and you end up having to redo them. You got plenty of time to recover on this one. Hopefully you guys will take a look at what you need to get done and maybe can ease the access. That corner is a very dangerous corner. We've had numerous accidents and there's been a death on that corner. Also, there's been no cleanup on the broken concrete there before it snows, and DPW knows about it because I talked to Bob out there. Matter of fact, when I called City Hall, they told me they'd have Bob come out. So he did. He was there within 5 minutes, and I chatted with him.
Thank you, Phil. Hey, before you go, though, I want to ask you this. Did you see a name on that truck or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bob Beeth knows who it is. It says Weiss on the trailer. I got a picture of it if you want to see it.
All right, not right now, but yeah.
Yeah,
All right, thank you,
I didn't think it mattered. Bob knows who it is.
Yep, thanks.
But anyway, you got plenty of time to think about this. That is a dangerous corner. And it would be nice if you're going to do something with it, you did it prior to your paving in '26. Do you have any questions on the pictures that I gave you?
Thanks, Phil. Time's up, buddy. Harry,
You good with them? Okay,
he's good. Who's next?
thank you.
Go ahead.
Dan Fabian, 1579 Vine Street. I'm asking for your consideration of vacating the Orchard undeveloped roadway east of Kearney Drive. I purchased from the developer 2 lots that are landlocked. However, they're not landlocked in the tax records because that roadway is still on the plat map. However, the developer that's building the monstrosity of a building back there is, they're actually doing developing in this roadway. They've put their drains in, they've put all the stuff in, the dozers are going down there, they've cleared the trees. Backing up, my 2024 tax bill said that I had roadway frontage, which was trees, and the surveyor who was out there indicated that it has been vacated, just not officially. So I'm asking that it be done before this coming tax year, so I'm not hit with a undeveloped lot with roadway frontage, and that's according to the tax assessor. This information was brought to administration upstairs, and company are looking into it. I just wanted it on the record that I'm hoping that it can be done and followed through before this next tax year. I understand that there's no refund coming for last year. Once it's paid, and that's the way it's going to stay. Maybe, maybe not.
Okay, thank you. I know Clinton's looking into this. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, let's go to number 12. I have a couple quick things. Number one, city offices are closed December 24th, December 25th, December 31st, and January 1st. Also, I wanted to mention Mr. Gottler and Ms. Sturdy about the whole cemetery wreath thing. I got a lot of good feedback from people. They really were impressed by that. I also want to take a moment and thank John Watt for his service. Wish him the best of luck, good health.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Hearing nothing else, Your Honor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good night, everybody. Be careful out there.